Yo, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to a different type of video today. So I'm doing F1 22 the game, and we have a brand new weekly event in the multiplayer tab. It is basically a circuit race around Saudi Arabia, or the Jeddah track, and you have to be Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. So I genuinely thought, guys, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I'll take you through the car setup that gives you the best cornering and top speed, and yeah, let's see what we can do. Alright, first off, I would like to apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for, the lack of content over the past week. Something has happened behind the scenes, and it has required my more or less undivided attention, so I sincerely apologize on that front. And yeah, so today, let's just get this F1 video on the road. So yeah, we have the Saudi Arabia Jeddah event, ladies and gentlemen. You, again, like I said, have to be Carlos Sainz, and you are driving in his Ferrari. Your objective is to finish in 8th position or higher, as it is shown on the screen. Let's chuck a little screenshot in there. And yeah, I think we can do that. Especially with the car setup that I'll be using. Again, I'll take you through it step by step. I think it's very doable. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just give this a shot. Alright, and as it shows on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, the objective is to finish in 8th position or higher as Carlos Sainz, which, to be fair, very happy for him for his pole and win at Silverstone. Obviously, his 150th race in F1, which is nice, nice one, Carlos. But yeah, now we're moving forward, and again, this is doable. So I'm going to hop into car setup, ladies and gentlemen, and take you through it. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the car setup that I'm using. For the aerodynamics tab, I have the front wing aero set to 35 and the rear wing set to 40. This increases downforce, which does hamper my top speed a little bit, but not actually significant because of the Ferrari that you'll be in. It's one of the best performing cars in the game. That alongside Red Bull, that is. And yeah, like it says on the right hand side just above my face here, a higher wing angle produces more downforce, which improves grip, but also increases drag, which dramatically reduces your straight line speed. So in a straight line, you're probably going to be, you're probably going to be about 5 to 6 miles an hour slower than you normally would. Maybe like with really like the maximum height wings, but we've reduced that a little bit by I think I've reduced that by about 25%. So I should. I'm not exactly going to be the fastest on the track in terms of straight line speed. Things like, top speed's probably going to be about 199 to 202 mile an hour, maybe. But this wing setting is going to give me a lot of, like I say, it's going to create a lot of downforce, and it's going to give me cornering, which is, it's just what you need in Saudi Arabia. Alright, on the transmission tab, ladies and gentlemen, we have the on throttle at 100% and the off throttle at 55. So this basically allows me to, again, maintain tyre wear through cornering rather than having to force both tyres to go through several rotations, basically. It keeps the RPM locked, especially on the front tyres. Which allows me to, again, it minimizes tyre wear, especially in such a long race as Saudi Arabia. Again, with the suspension geometry, the front camber is at negative 2.5, rear camber is at negative 2, the front toe is at 0.05 degrees, and the rear toe is at 0.2 degrees. Again, it's all about cornering. I prefer to have a more responsive car in tracks like Saudi Arabia, again, just for the simple cornering and the simple responsiveness of getting around the corners and trying, basically, yes, you're losing a lot of front line, straight line speed, like I mentioned on the straights, but on the cornering, you're managing to hold on to some of your speed faster than other competing cars around you. So you're able to sort of like get that little, that little bit more distance around in corners, and maybe increase the distance between you and your competitors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the suspension is where the pivoting comes into play. Again, on such a tight circuit such as Saudi Arabia, you're going to want corners. You're going to want to be able to take corners pretty pivotally. You want to be able to turn your car pretty responsively and get the car around the corner rather than having to fight at a wide angle, which is where your suspension comes into play. So the front suspension is set to 1, the rear suspension set to 5, the front anti-roll bar set to 1, the rear anti-roll bar set to 6, the front ride height Words are fantastic. It's set to 1 and the rear ride height is set to 7. Again, this allows me to pivot the car. So as you're coming round, I believe it's turns 13 and 14, I believe it is. It's basically a U-bend. And as you're coming round the U-bend, you don't want to take that U-bend at a high angle or a wide angle, which, you know, you want to sort of, again, you want to pivot your car around the racing line, which is the tight line, and get your car around the bend while still maintaining a decent amount of speed. This will give you a really good, obviously, lap time, and again, it increases or gives you the potential chance to pull away from your competitors on the corner exit. The brake pressure is set to 100%, ladies and gentlemen, and the front brake bias is set to 50%. Again, it's all about getting your responsiveness out of your brakes. Yes, it's going to increase your brake temperature, but that doesn't really negate anything from your performance. You might get a little bit of brake lock up, especially if you're going into like tight corners or weaving S-bends. But apart from that, I think you'll be absolutely fine as long as you ease up on the throttle as you take the said corners during braking, and don't accelerate until you're actually more or less around the corner. You'll be absolutely fine. So the tire pressure is maximum on all 4 tires, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is going to increase tire temperature, but again, it will not necessarily increase your tire degradation or tire wear. It will increase my straight line speed, which counters the aerodynamics of the high wings. Again, so it's a pretty balanced setup, but again, this setup allows me to pivot around corners pretty easily, which is where my style of driving comes into play. So that is the car setup, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just jump straight into Carlos Sainz's Ferrari here, and let's get this show on the road. Let's see how many laps we have to do. So we start on a flying lap. This is a flying lap. Lap 41 of 50. All right, so we have 9 laps, ladies and gentlemen, to finish 8th or higher. So we need to catch the AI out in front of us. Fernando Alonso just put in a 135. So we are Carlos Sainz. So we've got Nicholas Latifi and Sergio Perez ahead of us. And Verstappen has just put in the fastest lap. But you see the corner, you have just witnessed obviously the setup there, the car setup on the corners, and how I'm able to just pivot and get up behind Nicholas Latifi and use his straight line speed, his slipstream there, to just get ahead of him. That was a really good turn. That was a really good pivot. I love that. Which has also shaved about 0.3, 0.4 seconds off our time ahead of Sergio Perez. And obviously Lance Stroll is ahead of him. So while we have the superior car in terms of performance, again, we can just pivot and glide around these corners at a decent little speed, which again drops our distance between us and Sergio Perez down to 2.6. And that pivot is absolutely beautiful. Again, I love that corner. We're now 1.8, 1.9 seconds behind Sergio Perez. You know, personally, I don't think I'm going to do this. If I'm being brutally honest. Like, the corners is definitely where I'm picking up the speed. But straight line speed is definitely hampering me a little bit here. Our gap between us and Lance Stroll is now 3.6. It was something like 4 or 5 seconds. And Sergio Perez, again, does have the straight line speed given our wing angles, but again on the corners doesn't stand a chance. No one stands a chance on corners. Took that a little bit wide, but that's absolutely fine because we are now more or less up the back of Sergio Perez. We are now 0.7 seconds behind Sergio Perez and 0.9 to 1 second behind Lance Stroll. So this is exactly what I was on about, ladies and gentlemen, as far as the pivoting's concerned. Didn't really appreciate Sergio Perez trying to like overtake and you know, potentially take me out there. Didn't appreciate that one bit, but we'll retake that corner and we'll get back on track. All right, side by side with Sergio Perez right now. He's taking us out. He's taking us out. What's the point? What's the absolute point? I'm pulling in behind you. Bro, suck your mum. Honestly, I don't understand why collision with Perez. Yeah, Bro, he collided with me, you piece of shit. Fuck off. Yo, the FIA, I swear to God. Don't even get me started on the FIA, man. I'm not turning this video into a rant. But we were right beside, we were side by side with Perez there. And I get the AI are far too aggressive in this game. I will openly admit that right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's one thing I've noticed, especially in career mode. I have noticed that the AI are ridiculously aggressive. Like, you try and overtake them on the inside, and they will try and cut you across, cut you up, and again plow you into the wall, which is not nice. You know, it's a little bit too aggressive for my liking. But we do get past Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez there, while kind of exceeding track limits, I guess. FIA have not pulled us up about it, which is absolutely fine. I do have the AI set to 90% difficulty. I should have mentioned this at the start of the video, but that's a thing. But we are now more or less closing on Zhou Guanyu and Yuki Tsunoda, and whoever is ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, which I do believe is Alex Albon. So we're getting ahead of, or we were getting ahead of Zhou Guanyu here. All right, we are now right up behind Zhou Guanyu, Alex Albon, and Yuki Tsunoda in P11, P9, and P10 respectively. If I can get to the last, or if I can get to the final corner with DRS and just try and overtake on the inside, I guess that would be the ideal plan. I can't do that at the moment because Zhou Guanyu's just cut in front of me, which is fine. I don't want to risk another collision, even though, you know, Perez was the one that collided with me, and I'm probably going to get rung off the FIA for that. But it's absolutely fine. We're going to brake early here because I can see Zhou Guanyu just yeah, that just happened. I just lost part of my front wing. I'm not going to bother flashbacking that. I'm just going to continue. So that's a Yuki Tsunoda and Zhou Guanyu overtaken. Alex Albon is our next target, and I'm just going to go on the inside like that and absolutely swift past. That is beautiful. We now have 5 laps to catch Lando Norris in P8 for our objective. And I don't have the cornering, I don't have the pivot angle that I would like because of the damage to our front wing. But that is, you know, it's fine, I guess. I can live with it because we are still catching Lando Norris. We are now 4.3 seconds behind Lando. He is on soft compound tires, which does give him a little bit more grip than us. But damage to the front, if I can catch up to Lando and somehow still manage to get in front of him with a damaged front wing, I'll be happy with that. And Sebastian Vettel is out of the session, ladies and gentlemen. So my team engineer, my race engineer, has just asked me to box. I'm going to ignore this because Lando Norris is actually within visual range. He's just gone around the top corner there, and he's just gone around this corner. So if like I said, I can still pivot. It's not the pivoting angle I want, but I can still pivot, which is absolutely fine. And we've still got 4 more laps to get round this track in. So I've taken that a little bit wide, which is fine, but it's an S-bend, which does allow me to cut off a little bit speed. I've exceeded track limits there, but again, the FIA haven't pulled me for it. So yellow flag, ladies and gentlemen, as well. I can't overtake Lando even if I wanted to, as I'm not in a position to do so yet. But Lando is now just 1.3 seconds ahead of us. I need to stay within track limits here, which is fine. And Lando is definitely within visual range here. I mean, that pivot angle, can we just appreciate that pivot angle, please, ladies and gentlemen? Like, that was nice. Yo, Lando, what's up, bro? Yo, Lando. What's up, bro? Do you want to collab? But we are now right up behind Lando Norris, riding this man Slipstream. I don't think I'm going to get around him on this. I'm just going to back out of that fight just for now. But I'm going to ride your Slipstream, and I'm going to just overtake you, my G. There we go. We are up to P8. We have Pierre Gasly ahead of us in the AlphaTauri, who is 4 seconds ahead of us. So I think with three laps remaining, I think I could actually catch Pierre Gasly here. Yo, that pivot though. If it's one thing I know how to do in this game, it's corner. Like, a lot of my car setups are custom made. And if it's one thing I know how to do, it's to create a car that can pivot as well as keep up. So yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Alright, so we are now riding Pierre Gasly's Slipstream, ladies and gentlemen. Again, with the cornering, I'm absolutely fantastic. But I'm gonna just, again, ride your Slipstream, Pierre, and just pull out ahead of you. No, you're okay. The AI straight line speed is still bugged. Why the fuck is the AI doing that, man? You can clearly see I'm coming on your outside. Why would you pull across? Honestly, it's the AI. Yo, you need to Codemasters, you need to fix that, because that is absolutely stupid. The amount of times I've been taken out by the AI, especially in career mode, is absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, it needs to be fixed. Like, the AI aggression is far too high. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in P7, so we have our objective complete, and we also have Daniel Ricciardo ahead of us. Whether or not, you know, with 2 laps remaining, including the one I'm currently on, so only 1 lap after this, I don't think I can catch him. There's 4.7 seconds between myself and Danny Rick, and even on, you know, even my expert cornering is probably not enough to catch him on this lap. So it's a bit of a shame. I will happily take a P7. Sergio Perez is also out the session. I will happily take a P7. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo's right there. I could actually get P6 if I play if I corner this right, which I don't really do. But that's fine, because I can just get round here, and we're now within 1.6 seconds of Danny Rick. So honestly, we've managed to shave best part of, say, 50% of the time, or 50% of the distance between myself and Danny Ricciardo in 1 lap. So next lap, on the final lap, this could make things interesting. All right, final lap, ladies and gentlemen, lap 50 of 50, and, well, or lap 9 of 9, considering we started on lap 41, and Daniel Ricciardo is right in front of us. He is within just over 1 second, so he's outside of the DRS detection. But if we can get around these corners pretty well, we should be able to make a move on Daniel Ricciardo and just ride this boy Slipstream like that and get on his outside. I'm going to back out the fight because I don't want to get taken out, but I'm going to take Daniel Ricciardo on the outside, and I'm round. I'm into P6. I will happily take that. So Max Verstappen also takes the win. I've just exceeded track limits there, but the FIA, again, they're not bollocking me for it. We move. I guess they're not bollocking me for it because I didn't overtake, or I didn't, you know, I didn't gain an advantage from it. So I'm assuming they're just letting me off with that. But we do have Daniel Ricciardo literally right behind us, who has the straight line speed on us. So I'm just going to hold off Daniel Ricciardo as much as I can. I've lost my front wing. I've doing that defensive maneuver. I have literally just lost my front wing. I do not have a front wing anymore. But that is the checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. And that is P6 for us. I will take that all the way to the bank. I will happily take that all the way to the bank. From P14 up to P6, the cornering, the pivoting around the map, absolutely spot on from us. I love that. I absolutely love that. I recommend you doing this for yourself and using the car setup that I showed you at the beginning of the video as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is probably going to conclude this video unless this is another segment after this, but we did finish P6. Like I said, we started P14, I do believe it was, at the start of this race, or at the start of when, you know, the game put us in. But Max Verstappen there with the fastest lap as well, with a 133.8. We had a 136.2, which actually isn't that bad, all things considering, considering we had all that traffic to go through as well. But we did, like I say, we climbed best part of 8 or 9 positions there, which I will happily take. So if I hit advance, it gives me that points total. So completion bonus is 28,000. Total time is 142,768. You know, best lap score is 32,000 points there. Clean laps as well. Flashback reward is, I mean, I had to use flashbacks because the AI is far too aggressive, but we did manage to complete the objective, which is finishing 8th position or higher, and now our total points is 254,135. So I'm probably within like the top 80%. I haven't done that. I probably haven't done well at all in the weekly challenge. I probably know that for a fact, but there is not a lot I can do about that. If it wasn't for the AI being so aggressive and you know, trying to cut me up all the time when I'm going around the outside, yeah, that definitely needs to be patched, if I'm being honest, because the AI need to realize that I'm within a certain distance. So yeah, if the AI are like, oh, you know, the AI like to stick to the racing line, right? Which I totally understand. But by the same token, if I'm on said racing line on your inside, you should be swerving a little bit more wider to give me the space to get past you, if that makes sense. And I think that's where the AI need to be fixed. Like, the aggression is just far too much, especially when you try and overtake, even on a straight. They'll swerve towards you, and it's like, can you not? But we are top 86%, ladies and gentlemen. There, ranked 2,427th in the world for points, which I'll take because why not? Absolutely, why not? But yeah, that is going to do it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, hit that big red button underneath the video. It massively helps me out. Share the channel and the video with your friends and family and get them involved in the community as well. But like I said, guys, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.